Zarna, Zarna, Zarna. Don't know what to say about you. Disappoint me sometimes, and sometimes it's no big surprise. Now, let's start off with... Oh, I'll just move this just a little bit here, eh? My computer is slow. It moves kind of funny. Racism. It's really part of what you're talking about here, right? So we're going to Webster, and we're going to talk about racism. Because I have seen what you just posted on your Facebook, and it clearly seems like you are from a standpoint of racism. So the definition is the belief that a race is the primary determinant of a human trait and capacity. So I think we'll take those first few words there. A belief that a race is the primary determinant of a human trait. And I would include above race, I'd also include, as far as what you're doing, it's gender. So when you see a gender white male in a van, you want to say that, well, let's just see what you posted on your Facebook. That's what will tell us what you said. Let's just play this here. This is Ian Campo. He's from Quebec, it looks like. I looked at his Facebook.
And it was literally like she was scared of like someone taking her. And I was like, what do you mean someone's going to take you? You were told someone's going to take you. She's like, yes, I was taught that not to park beside vans because people can grab you and drive away with you. And I realized at that moment that that was something that I've never been afraid of. And that she's been thinking of this every single time she parks. So I went home and I went on social media and I asked like the women in my circles, like if they do things like this to avoid being assaulted or being taken on a daily. And they said, absolutely. I wear flatter shoes when I'm walking home. I call a friend. I put my hair up. I carry my keys a certain way. And it was literally like they realized, they were telling me that every single day they're afraid of something that as a man, I've never been afraid of. All the precautions about avoiding sexual assault was on the woman. Where there was no talk about men.
All right. Now, if you're not talking about a man in a van taking you, and they were very careful here not to, I was just going to wait and see if they were going to mention it. I don't want to play the whole video. Don't want to do anything like piracy here. I want to leave this as her video that she's from McLean's or something. She's grabbed it and posted it on her Facebook. But honestly, this Ian guy, are you stupid? Of course. Men are afraid of things. And of course, men dress different. My experience, I used to live in a city that was very dangerous. Needed to get my rent money. I was late one day. I went to a bank. It was in a dangerous part of town. So what I do? I knew. I'd been assaulted before. I knew what to do. You dress down your dirty clothes, your dirty runners, and you move quick. And I had all my dirty clothes on. I had dirty runners on. Basically dressed completely down. Went into this bank later at night with an instant teller. Got my cash. And I walked away. Walked down the street. Only problem was a lady in front of me. High heels, dressed totally up, and she was also getting, I guess, rent money, whatever she's doing. And she was ahead of me. She took her time, she moved slow, and I couldn't believe it. I was like 18, 19 years old, maybe 20. I knew to move fast, she didn't. And as she's slowly walking down the sidewalk, I was like, excuse me, And she's like, she thought I was stealing her money. I said, no, I just want to get around you. This is, excuse me, I'm just going to pass you. I'm getting out of here. And she's like, well, you take my money, don't hurt me. I was like, I am going. I don't know who you are or what you think you're doing. I want out of here. She couldn't understand. She was so afraid and everything. Well, yes, so was I. But she had made a worse plan than I could have thought of. She put her makeup on, put her high heels on, wore a nice dress. Can tell you, in an impoverished area of the city, it's like flaunting your nose, thumbing your nose at them. I have money, you don't. I have privilege, you don't. Now, if you think as a woman you don't have privilege, when you're walking in those high heels and you're strutting around and you do that whole makeup thing, and then you're going around where people, the men are working to exhaustion, they're dirty, they're tired. Do you think for a moment that you're not flaunting your wealth in front of them and your privilege? So I have an issue with, and this guy here talking stupid. It is a dumb thing to say to a woman, never park beside a van. He's a big guy. If somebody's going to steal his wife or his girlfriend, I don't remember what he said it was. I think it was his wife. If somebody's going to steal his wife with him in the van, they're going to have to take on two people. It doesn't make any sense. Further, if this is a full-size van, it only has doors on one side. Like, I can just imagine, if she's on the passenger side, this van, depending how it's parked, if that sliding door isn't on her side, it's not reasonable. It's not a reasonable fear. I'm calling out Zarna on telling people to profile men this way. You know, here she writes, she writes over and over about silly things, like trigger warning about violence and stuff, right? Let's see what else. She had it written down here somewhere. If you've been called out either on racism or sexism or sexual violence, you know what, Zarna, I'm calling you out. Everybody has seen these videos that you've done, these humongous videos. And if anybody has seen the footage where you started your camera, we all know what you did. He wasn't following you around, you were following him. So when you talk about violence, you seemed very violent in that video. You seemed very aggressive in that video to somebody who didn't really want to have anything to do with you. No, I am not at all impressed with this. Further, Zarna, why are you putting this guy on? Like, let's go to his Facebook. Let's have a look at what his Facebook page looks like. We got somebody holding a gun. Let's see if there's any more. No, that's the top of the page. He holds a gun. He's got almost no photos except of him hunting. Right? And we can go to his albums. Oh yeah, and a few other things, but you, Zarna, have talked quite a bit about veganism, and I thought you were not into these. I thought you were into animal rights. I mean, I totally get it if you're not. Let's go back to your homepage. We can get more of your homepage. I am curious about the levels of violence. You're willing to show violence. You've, in the past, been very aggressive with people. You got some guy here who is also willing to shoot things, and I don't even care that he's a hunter. To me, it doesn't make a difference. But, you know, for you, with your position on animal rights, why are you putting him on your page if you're so adamant about the rights? And why is this a consistent violent page? Why is violence sort of follow in your persona? You know, I think this social justice warrior thing, I think this whole patriarchy thing, it's a load of crap. I think what's going on is you're being brutal to men. You treated, so far you've not treated anyone I've seen that you don't know, that doesn't fit your agenda. You don't treat them very nice. Whereas other people, where you don't fit their agenda, they treat you nice. So you get the benefit of the doubt, but you're not willing to extend it to others. And I look at this whole thing, this whole recent video you posted, this guy here, as being part of, like, well, we want to justify profiling men. We want to justify saying, hey, that guy, he's white, he's male, he must have done it. He must be a threat. That van, it has to be a threat. And as long as there's threats in the world, there's patriarchy. And as long as there's threats in the world, you're alive. The only people who are unthreatened, can never be threatened, are the people that are dead. Right? It doesn't make any sense. Your movement will never have an end, and your movement continues to show violence. There's no evidence that you have of any man showing you violence. Yet you show violence to others. People give you the benefit of the doubt, and they regret it. Right? The moment you can get the mic, you're up there screaming all kinds of crazy stuff. Sure, you do these calm videos, and you do this whole victim thing in your videos where you've prepared ahead of time. But when you're on stage, when you're in front of an open mic, what's going on with you? It doesn't make sense. So yeah, Zarna, I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out because I don't think you regret an ounce of what you did with Humongous. I don't think you have any acknowledgement that you went after him and you tried to destroy a person who's just trying to deal with life, and life isn't easy. And you seem to have this attitude that, I don't care, he's male, he's white, it must be wrong. You aren't oppressed by white males. Zarna, you are oppressed by Zarna. You aren't victimized by white males. You're victimized by yourself. It's all through your videos. You can see it. You should know better. That's the end of my video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe.